Good evening, I'm Matt Woodman. This is CTV News at 5. Tonight, assessing the damage. A spring storm hits homes and vehicles in Sherwood Park. Cutting coverage why healthcare workers want the province to keep paying for the COVID-19 vaccine. And a royal restoration. 8 students fix up a car fit for a princess.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Matt Woodman.
Severe thunderstorms rolled into the Edmonton area just in time for Father's Day. Most sections of the city were hit with near heavy downpour. In Sherwood Park and other areas, though, it was hail and flooding rain. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
The sky opened up just as people who live on Parker Drive were sitting down to Father's Day dinner. Hail fell and water climbed up lawns as people rushed to try to move their submerged vehicles.
Crazy adrenaline, like it just flows. You're like, what? You don't know when it's going to end. And I was happy I wasn't alone.
Crews worked to stop the rising water before it reached homes.
It's quite terrifying, and, it's stressful because, the first thing we do when we get here is try to clear the drains and get the water flowing.
Strathcona County says there was so much rain that the stormwater system was overwhelmed, and some catch basins were blocked by debris. Neighbors helped each other out.
A couple young guys from houses down the block came over and just hopped right in with their rakes and started cleaning up. It was great to see these poor guys. It was freezing, ice cold water.
Less than 24 hours after the big flood, the water is gone. The last bits of hail, driveway debris, damaged plants, and water-soaked vehicles left behind. But people who live here say this isn't the first time Parker Drive has been underwater.
It's just something that we wish maybe the county would look at the infrastructure a little bit and see how they can improve.
Randy Billick of Avalon Construction says there was very little that could be done once the water started climbing. He says taking simple precautions beforehand can buy time if the rains come.
See where the downspouts are draining. Are the eaves splashing over? Is the water running away from your house? These are the beginning signs of trouble.
Back on Parker Drive, the cleanup continues. And while some have more work to do than others, all are thankful it wasn't worse.
The water's good for the grass, for sure.
A sunny outlook in contrast to Sunday. In Sherwood Park, Connor Hogg, CTV News.
Josh, we saw some rain and hail falling in other parts of the city over the weekend as well, but boy, did that area of Sherwood Park really get hit hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good reminder of just how localized some of these severe thunderstorms can be, right? You get a severe thunderstorm warning, pops up on your phone, and then it passes by, and you go, what? That wasn't worth warning. But just because your neighborhood didn't get hit, right? Like parts of the city here, 2 to 5 millimeters worth of rain. Look at Sherwood Park. Now, these are backyard weather stations, so I can't verify exactly how well they're maintained, although there is a weather watcher in Sherwood Park that I do trust that was saying on social media over 80 millimeters there. But look at this. The north end of Sherwood Park, over 100 millimeters of rain in that one backyard rain gauge. On the south end, close to 50 millimeters, certainly a lot more than other parts of the city. So no big surprise. A lot of this area was already saturated after Saturday. And of course, you just heard in that story, infrastructure problems are a known issue through some of those areas. But you get that much rain in just over an hour, and localized flooding, certainly possible. And that's exactly what happened. There's your showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, all avoiding the Edmonton area. So far, from Fort McMurray southeast towards Cold Lake, we've had storms all afternoon. Here in the Edmonton region, skies have been pretty clear. Beautiful day today. We're into the mid-20s right now under mainly sunny skies. 24 degrees so far. I think we'll get to about 25 for a daytime high once the official number is in. So that's about 4 degrees warmer than average. 10 for your morning low. Should be in the same ballpark tomorrow. You get a risk of some showers or thunderstorms overnight tonight. Dry for most of this evening, though, and then partly cloudy for most of tomorrow with, again, late in the day, a chance of a shower or thunderstorm. In fact, Wednesday has a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Thursday has a chance of some more rain. We'll get into all that in just a few minutes.
All right, Josh, thank you. World leaders are in Alberta for the G7 summit. The U.S. president says his administration is close to a trade deal with Canada. Canada's prime minister met with the U.S. president this morning for a discussion that lasted more than an hour. It focused on advancing the security relationship between the countries and trade negotiations. Late this afternoon, we learned the U.S. president and Canada's prime minister aim to reach a trade deal in 30 days.
legacy trail is kind of symbolically to ask the leaders, what is your legacy?
This was one of several protests in Banff at one of the designated protest sites. Different groups took turns at the podium to send their message to G7 leaders. Other than the protests and increased security in town, Banff's mayor says it's business as usual. Local members of the Canadian Armed Forces took off over the weekend to join NATO allies in a mission overseas. Roughly 100 members left Sunday for Latvia. These soldiers will be used in Operation Reassurance, which supports NATO's defensive measures in Central and Eastern Europe. The military says this group will focus on tank tactics. Canadian forces expect to have up to 2,200 personnel in Latvia by 2026. Organizations representing healthcare workers want the provincial government to continue paying for COVID-19 vaccines. On Friday, the province announced it will only cover the cost for the highest risk groups. That includes people with compromised immune systems, seniors in congregate living, and people on social programs. Everyone else will have to pay for a COVID-19 vaccine. That includes healthcare workers, seniors living at home, and pregnant women. The National Advisory Committee on Immunization strongly recommends these groups get vaccinated. Unions representing Alberta nurses and 30,000 other healthcare workers say frontline staff deserve protection.
I think that there really is a duty to provide whatever protections available to those people. And that makes a difference also in healthcare system sustainability. If you have waves of healthcare workers getting sick while everyone in the community is getting sick, that does not help us provide good care.
The Premier said the decision is about reducing waste and saving money since the province now has to pay for COVID vaccines. The province estimates each shot could cost about $110. A price has not been finalized yet, though. The measles tally is nearing 1,000 cases in Alberta. Over the weekend, every zone recorded new cases except Edmonton. Our health region is still sitting at 6 confirmed measles cases. Central and Calgary zones each recorded 1 new case. There are 16 new cases in the north and 35 in the south. That health zone has by far the most cases at 647. Longtime City Councillor Andrew Knack has launched his campaign to become Edmonton's next mayor. Knack says he will not be affiliated with any new municipal political party and will run as an independent. In September, Knack said he would not seek re-election as a city councillor. He says he started seriously considering a mayoral run when current mayor Amarjeet Sohi decided not to run again. Knack says he plans to focus on 3 issues.
So we're hearing about affordability, we're hearing about safety, and we're hearing about how we're going to keep up with this rapid population growth. We've added 200,000 people into the city in the last 4 years. What does that mean for the infrastructure and services that we need and that people expect in all parts of the city?
3 other candidates have filed their papers to run for mayor, including current city councillor Tim Cartmell. The municipal election is October 20th. The Edmonton Oilers say they need to be ready to go from the opening face-off if they want to win Game 6 and continue their quest for the Stanley Cup.
It'd be nice to take it out and play with that lead. You know, that's our goal, is to start strong and get that first one and play from there.
For whatever reason, our group doesn't like to make it easy on ourselves and put ourselves in another difficult spot, and it's our job to work our way out of it, and I would expect that tomorrow.
The Oilers practiced in Florida this morning ahead of Game 6. The head coach would not reveal who his starting goalie will be tomorrow. Chris Knobloch says he considers a number of factors when choosing a goalie, including input from the other coaches, management, and players.
Knowing, you know, who they feel is going and who they feel confident at that time. And then, you know, there's also the workload. Obviously, February playing 3 and 4 is a little bit different than playing an elimination game, but I think it's just ultimately who do we feel is in the best position to win us a game.
Tomorrow night's game begins at 6 o'clock, and if the Oilers win, Game 7 is Friday. Connor McDavid is adding another milestone to his record. He will make his Olympic debut on Canada men's hockey team at the Games in Italy next year. McDavid was among the 6 players announced today. 2-time gold medalist Sidney Crosby will also be on the roster, along with 4 other players from Canada's 4 Nations team: Sam Reinhart, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, and Braden Point. This will be the first time in 12 years NHL players will compete in the Olympics. Coming up next on CTV News, burning out of control, how much the recent wet weather and cooler temperatures are helping the wildfire fight.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Despite some wet weather over the weekend, more than 20 wildfires are still burning out of control across Alberta. The Alberta Wildfire Dashboard shows 25 out-of-control fires. Alberta Wildfire says the rain helped crews make progress on fires in the Grand Prairie, Slave Lake, and Lac La Biche forest areas. More rain and cooler weather will be needed for some of the larger fires. Officials are keeping a close eye on the high-level forest area.
We do have an out-of-control fire that's burning there, the Sousa Creek wildfire. It's affecting communities. It's very close to infrastructure, so we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we can contain that wildfire. It did not receive the amount of rain that we did in, say, the Slave Lake forest area this weekend.
The high-level forest protection area is still under a fire ban. A number of other bans, though, were lifted thanks to the weekend rain. Over the past several years, these fires have uprooted thousands of Albertans, destroyed homes and buildings. Scientists are now developing new technology using artificial intelligence to predict where fires will take place so they can be prevented. CTV's Connor Hogg reports.
Sudden, destructive, out-of-control wildfires. Large-scale events that destroy homes, landmarks, and in some cases, parts of entire cities have become a part of spring and summer in Alberta over the past decade. That's pushing a number of Canadian companies to develop ways to prevent the kinds of wildfires seen in Fort McMurray in 2016 and Jasper National Park last year.
A combination of statistical modeling, probabilistic modeling, and physical modeling to capture the fire behavior.
Some use drone mapping. Others, like Vancouver-based AI6, use complicated computer systems. Millions of simulations measure minute data, things like temperature, rain levels, wind patterns, and dryness. Jill Roberti with AI6 says software sifts through the results, pinpointing where a wildfire could start and spread.
To understand what is the probability of a fire occurring today and in 10, 20, 50 years according to different climate change scenarios. There might be cases where mitigation measure might be taken where, for example, preventive burns or fuel thinning.
Swan Hills, Grant Cache, and Jasper facing a higher probability of risk. The technology is new, but Roberti says it's already in use in several provinces, including Alberta, identifying potential hotspots to municipalities and insurance companies.
People taking preventive measure once they see their community on the map.
He says using this kind of preventative technology could also benefit people beyond the Canadian border.
There's fire all across the world. Because again, temperature is getting hotter everywhere, right? I like the idea of helping people, and this is I think a good way to do it because it applies very complicated scientific concept to help people.
Applying science to help society. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
There's a new place in Edmonton to see the works of 2 local artists. 2 new water bottle filling stations at Remax Field are home to 2 colorful murals created by Justine Ma and Peter Newen. Both are inspired by the North Saskatchewan River. The murals are a partnership between the Edmonton Riverhawks and EPCOR as part of the Glass on the Sask campaign. It celebrates the city's tap water source, the North Saskatchewan River.
It offers such a different perspective for EPCOR's Glass of the Sask campaign. It's something new and exciting and a way to visually represent the North Saskatchewan River in a very different way for us.
Yeah, I think it's a good kind of respectful way to honor the land and the river.
The Glass of Sask campaign was created in 2022 to foster pride and connection to the river. Still to come tonight on CTV News, what's the buzz? What crews are doing to prevent mosquitoes from ruining your summer?
Programming brought to you by K-Days. The 10 best days of summer are back.
This weekend's downpour has put the city of Edmonton's mosquito treatment program into high gear. City scientist Mike Jenkins says crews are out treating sites where the insects are likely to be hatching. He says heavy rain that takes a few days to dry up makes for ideal mosquito conditions. He says right now the ground is still pretty dry and that water will be absorbed quickly.
So we're likely to get sort of one burst of mosquitoes out of this, but then unless we get additional rain inputs, we may not see it continuing on for very long.
Jenkins says it's been a mild mosquito season so far with cooler temperatures and a slow spring melt, leaving little standing water. Josh, the weather this weekend must have had you buzzing. We had rain out there. We had some hail.
Buzzing? Mike Jenkins. I love a good Mike Jenkins. I haven't seen him in months.
Since the last mosquito season, no doubt.
Good to see him.
Good to have you back on the show, Mike.
Absolutely. Yes, the weekend was fairly active as far as the weather is concerned. Not so much today. As you look through the Action Furnace, River Valley, Skycam, Action Furnace, fixed rider, it's free. It's 24 degrees under mainly sunny skies right now. We'll stay sunny through at least the next 3 or 4 hours. Overnight tonight, after midnight, you might see a few scattered showers or thunderstorms. 17 at Fort McMurray, it's 21 in Cold Lake, 24 here in Edmonton, although I do think we'll get to 25 before the day's done. 25 right now in Jasper, was 26 just an hour ago. There's your thunderstorms off to the northeast. Starting to see a little bit of activity here that'll blow into the Lloydminster area. Cold Lake, we've already had some thunderstorms. There's more coming your way from the northwest. Around Edmonton, yeah, there's your clear skies, but look further west. Showers, thunderstorms starting to develop off the foothills, and we are expecting 1 or 2 of those to turn not just into showers, but possibly some thunderstorms. This is 10 p.m., still way off to the southwest of the Edmonton area. After midnight between Edmonton and Red Deer, you get a chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. So make it a little noisy overnight tonight. Those all blast off to the northeast by tomorrow morning, and the best chance tomorrow afternoon is from around Peace River southeast into that Lac La Biche, Fort McMurray area. Again, you have the chance of some isolated thunderstorms. And here, especially south of Red Deer towards Calgary, you might see some severe thunderstorms late tomorrow afternoon. Most of that severe risk stays south of Edmonton, but late in the day, you might see an isolated shower or thunderstorm push through. So again, like today, dry for most of the day, but as you head into the evening hours, chance of some precipitation. Wednesday, you might start the day with some showers in the Edmonton area. Doesn't look like it's going to be all that heavy or steady, but some showers in the region. Late in the day Wednesday, again, off to the south and west of the city, we get some thunderstorms blowing up, and those potentially, as we head into Wednesday evening, could bring some more severe thunderstorms to the Edmonton region. 11 degrees in Fort McMurray tomorrow morning. Should be in the 4-degree range in Jasper. Here in Edmonton, we'll drop to about 13, 8 in Red Deer. Low 20s across the northeast tomorrow. Low 20s as well in through the Grand Prairie Peace River region. You get to about 20 or 21 in Red Deer. Risk of thunderstorms in the afternoon, 23 in Jasper, and low to mid 20s in Lloydminster and Coronation. Here in Edmonton, mid 20s again tomorrow. You get that risk of a shower or thunderstorm after midnight into the early morning hours of tomorrow. 13 degrees and partly cloudy by tomorrow morning, and then around supper time or into the early evening hours, another chance of a shower or thunderstorm. So it won't be heavy, steady, nonstop rain for tomorrow or Wednesday. Thursday could be some steadier rain, and temperatures drop back into the mid to upper teens for the end of spring and the start of summer.
Sorry, Josh, thank you. Anyone who had their eyes to the sky in the wee morning hours was treated to a meteor sighting. This fireball lit up the sky above Edmonton just after 2. An expert with TELUS World of Science says when meteors get that bright, it usually breaks up. And that means there could be meteorites scattered somewhere waiting to be found.
Close to it. A lot of meteorites contain iron. It's not a definitive test by any means, but if you see a little black rock sitting all by its lonesome and you bring a magnet up close to it and it gets attracted to the magnet, it could very well be a meteorite.
It appears the meteor was northwest of Edmonton. If you find any fragments, you can bring them to TELUS World of Science to confirm whether or not it is a meteorite. When we return, a royal ride. Nate Auto Body students give new life to a 70-year-old car fit for a princess.
So we're excited to be part of the ongoing history to be able to move this car forward.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Coming up tonight on CTV News at 6, Parkland RCMP are searching for 2 people involved in a bear spraying a woman in Spruce Grove. Also tonight, more tow trucks and smaller fines are on their way for Edmonton drivers during seasonal parking bans. And hundreds of students take to the track for the City Track and Field Championship. Those stories and much more tonight on CTV News at 6 with Jeff Hastings. Country music star Brad Paisley has added a stop in Edmonton to his tour. Paisley's Truck Still Works World Tour will come to Rogers Place on Friday, November 7th. Tickets go on sale June 19th. NAIT Auto Body students have been working on a piece of Canadian history. They've been freshening up a 51 Lincoln Cosmopolitan convertible built for a royal visit to Canada. CTV's Amanda Anderson got a look at the royal ride.
It's not often students in NAIT's auto body program get to work on an antique car.
Cars these days, everything is a little bit more brittle. Everything's a little bit more delicate, smaller, a lot more plastics. But on a vehicle like this, there's a lot more steel, a lot more kind of heavy-duty parts. It kind of goes back to saying how they don't build them like they used to.
About 80 students have played a role in rejuvenating this 51 Lincoln Cosmopolitan convertible's body and paint. About 1,500 hours of work have gone into the job. This is what it looked like in February, and this is what it looks like now.
It looks fantastic. The students at NAIT did a really great job.
Barry Cochran's dad owned the car for more than 30 years.
My dad really was proud of that car. We really cherished it.
He says seeing it now brings back a lot of memories.
It was such a great vehicle to ride in. People waved and they honked their horns, and it was a real attention seeking.
The significance of it and the history of it, it just adds even more to the coolness factor of it.
It's one of 60 cars built in 1951 for Princess Elizabeth's first visit to Canada before becoming queen.
It's my understanding that she did, in fact, ride in that specific car.
We're excited to be part of the ongoing history, to be able to move this car forward, that hopefully it can last for other generations to be able to see.
Its current owner, Ron Lyons, hasn't seen the car since leaving it in NAIT's care.
So I think that he's going to be blown away with the end result of this car.
There's still a few finishing touches required before the big reveal to Lyons this weekend, and the car put on display at NAIT's annual car show.
Supposed to be our centerpiece. Going to be very proud of it, of course. Going to be able to see it out in the sunlight, see what people have to say about it.
The car show runs from noon until 4 on Saturday at NAIT's Patricia campus. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
That's our show for this Monday evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Matt Woodman. I'll be back here tomorrow night, same time, same place. I hope you are too. CTV National News is next.